is I give this exercise to all my clients, right? I like to say to them, hey, close your eyes. I'm also going to close my eyes and we're going to envision your ideal client. I don't want you to tell me what they physically look like. I want you to tell me, if we were in a shopping center, what shop would I find them in? Are they at Gucci or are they at Lululemon? Are they holding Starbucks in their hand or are they holding a book? If they're holding a book, who's the author? So you're building a picture of the person who we are looking for.
This is Girl Take Note, a podcast for women who are looking to turn their dreams into reality. Hey, Carol, welcome to Girl Take Note. How are you?
I am great, Shawnee. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, this is my first time doing an episode with my glasses on. I'm still trying to, it is the first time. And I just said to a friend before I even hopped on here, I was like, you know what? I should do it because I can see my teleprompter so much better when I have my glasses on.
Can I tell you something? I got glasses when I actually begged my parents to get me glasses. I was in grade 7 and I used to sit at the front of the class. They didn't believe me that I needed glasses, first of all. Let's just talk about that.
Yeah.
And then eventually when they got me glasses, I was like, thank you. And they're so nice. The world is so nice. I never take them off. I want to get LASIK, but also the glasses are now part of my face. Yes, I don't know what I look like without them.
And that's what I'm just like, I wear them when I'm on my front of my computer and reading, but it's like when I do the podcast, normally I never have them on, but I'm like, oh my God, I can see so much better. I need to always have them on. So
can I tell you something? You look beautiful with or without the glasses. I have seen both and I like both. You look great.
Thank you so much. I'm excited about this episode. Facebook ad is like a mystery to people. Everybody don't get it. Everybody wants to use it, right? To grow and to build and stuff like that. But people don't really know how to use it. So, Carol, tell me a little bit about your background and kind of what led you to specialize in Facebook ads for like online businesses.
So a little bit about me. I am Afro-Latina. I'm a child of immigrants. I currently live in South Africa, which is really great.
You're in South Africa now?
Yeah, I live in South Africa now. Girl, you must come visit me. Come visit me. It would be fun.
Yes.
We'll do safari together. But so I started very traditional path. I went to school, I went to university, I went into a corporate job, and I was so burnt out. I was like literally a slave. I used to work in hospitality, but more importantly, business development. And you know what? When you work in hospitality, even if you work in the corporate side, you're working when everybody else is on vacation. So it's really important for you to be there. And I just knew that there was more. And when my husband proposed to me, I just was like, is this really who I want to be? Do I just want to keep living past everyone? Or is there more? And that's when I started investigating what other options were there. And I'm the first person in my family to ever be an entrepreneur. Very scary.
Oh, wow.
I come from, my parents are doctors. My other aunts and uncles are other things. So I was very drilled in me, like, you must get a job. You must stay there. You must do these things. So when I decided to go onto this entrepreneurial path, it was very like, oh, what is Carol doing? But I knew that, there was a bigger calling here for me. And for me, it was very important to have that lifestyle where I had choice, where I wasn't living past people, where I was just helping and serving. Yeah. So the reason I chose Facebook ads is because for me, Facebook ads in a nutshell, for anybody listening, if you know nothing about it, all that it really does, imagine it's a huge magnifying glass, right? And it just like magnifies your business. So whatever you have, it's now shown to the whole entire world. And I love to work with people who have great things that they want to bring into the world, whether it is their service, whether it is a coaching business. And I want to say, hey, what you have to help other people, I want to amplify it. I want people to find you and do the work. So that's kind of how I kind of stepped into this world. And this is the third, if I'm quite honest, this is the third iteration of my agency. And this is the best one. This is truly the best one. Yeah, so I'm going to tell you, entrepreneurship is not for the weak, but this is my third iteration of it. And this is truly my favorite. I cannot say anything else.
Yeah.
Other fun facts about me.
I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah.
That entrepreneurship is not for the weak. But go ahead. You was going to say something else.
No. All I was going to say is other fun facts about me is that I have a little dog. His name is Charlie. He's a little Boston Terrier. He looks like, I like to say, don't tell him this, but he looks like the Temu version of a French Bulldog because those dogs are expensive. I got the cheaper one. That's what I got.
Version of it.
Yeah. I got the cheaper version of the French Bulldog. That's what I have. The little Boston Terrier. Aww. And then I love white wine and I love pizza. So that's a little bit fun facts about
me. That's a good combination, white wine and pizza, first of all. That's a really good combination. So you're a dog mom. I'm a dog mom too. My dog is upstairs. He is a pit bull, a mix between a pit and a Jack Russell Terrier. So he looked like a Jack Russell Terrier. He's just a bigger version of it, and very.
He must be like strong. He must be like.
Oh yeah, he is. He's 2 years old. He's a baby. He's very scary, but I don't like to tell people that, especially when I go outside. I want people to be afraid of him, just in case. So I just make sure. But you're right. Facebook is just one of those mystery places, like I said, that a lot of people really don't know when it comes to growth. And I think as entrepreneurs, and you can answer this question for me, I think as entrepreneurs, we should at least, no matter what business you have some type of ad strategy, whether it be Facebook, whether it be Google, some kind of way to kind of drive traffic to your website, your business, your service. Even with me and my podcast, right? I'm still implementing little ads here and there to drive traffic to certain episodes, because I feel like it's important to do it. So do you agree that most entrepreneurs should at least consider an ad strategy when they launch?
Everybody should be running ads. I'm going to say it like that. Everybody should be running ads. And the reason I say that is because, unfortunately, social media is, the longer we stay on it, it's less and less social, and it's become a pay-to-play platform. And what I mean about that is, like, you can spend so much time crafting the perfect post, right? Like creating the script, creating the place, editing it. You can do all these wonderful things, but you are still like a slave to this algorithm, or these algorithm gods, as I like to call them. And you have to be like, please show my things to my people. And like, why would you want to do that? I am not saying you have to have thousands of dollars to invest in ads, but even if you invest a tiny little bit, right? Like $5, $10 on an ad, it will go a better way than if you were to just say, hey, Facebook, here's my organic post. Because by running an ad, you're investing in yourself and you're showing up to your actual audience. So whether you are like, no, I'm not ready, everybody's ready to run ads. The thing that will stop you maybe is like budget, but you can stop drinking a coffee and you can make the budget work.
You can make the budget work.
Yeah, you can do that.
You know, when it comes to Facebook, and I tell people all the time, so I post to Facebook simply because Instagram is connected to it. But I have been saying this now for probably almost 6 months. Facebook is definitely becoming a pay to grow type of platform. I feel like there is I told them on all these other TikTok, Instagram, you can really have organic growth. When it comes to Facebook, I don't even know how to find things. I feel like when I search on Facebook, and you tell me if I'm wrong, only thing that comes up are pages, not pages, but groups. People don't come up, pages, businesses don't come up. It's just groups. So I keep telling my friend, I don't know how to grow on this platform, because I feel like the only way you're going to do it is you're going to have to run ads, because how else do people find you? Unless you know somebody and you're searching for that name because you know them. But other than that, organic growth on Facebook just is not existent. It doesn't exist to me.
No, it really doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately. When Facebook started, we didn't know what we had until it's gone. You know that saying, you don't know what you have until you've lost it?
Yes.
We didn't know that. I think Facebook right now is, as much as we're bashing it, I do want your listeners to understand that, like, people with money and people who can be your customers are on Facebook.
Yeah,
the demographic there Facebook. Is right.
It's a good
the
platform.
Demographic there
is
not dancing, is not hopping on trends, is not pointing at things. Those people are people like you and me, Shani. They're people who like have their life together. we're doing things, and we have disposable income. So you need to be where people who have disposable income are, especially in this climate where we are around the world. I don't care where you are. We are all feeling it. So that being said, even like I remember, I mean, I don't want to give my age away, but
you're not older than me. Trust me when I tell you. I'm pushing 50 over here, so you're definitely not that old.
First of all, there is no way that you're 50.
In January, so...
Okay, can we just do another segment? There is no way you're 50. We're going to have to talk offline.
Talk about that later.
We're going to have to talk about this later. But I will say this. I remember just like pre-pandemic, right?
Yeah.
Facebook came out with this stat that said if you had a business page, only 1% of people were seeing your content. Now, let's just imagine that like scenario. So you have, let's use baby numbers because it's late in my time. You have 10 people following your page. That means only one person is going to see your post. And that was pre-pandemic, right?
Oh my God.
And you have no control over who that one person is. It could be your grandma who decided to like your post. It could be your neighbor, or it could be your ideal client. Now, why would you leave that up to chance if you are a smart business owner? No.
Yeah.
You would want to kind of like, if I'm going to invest all this time creating this content, I need the right people to actually see it.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's the thing where we can move now over. I want to talk about strategy. I think that's the thing when it comes to Facebook ads, it's about strategy because it's the back end piece of it. Because like you said, I can post an ad and I can tell you right now, I'm not good at Facebook ads. So that's probably why I don't have success at it. But I will create an ad, but it's the targeting that you have to do. And it's like being able to know those little intricate details about targeting, what audience, what interests, what hobbies. It's so many different things on that where it's like, I feel like as entrepreneurs who are not specialized in ads, we get lost with that. So thank God we have you, Carol. So you can tell us what elements go into a successful Facebook ad campaign? What elements go into that?
So my favorite thing is whenever people come to me and they're like, Carol, I'm ready to run ads, the first thing I always ask them is, do you have a tried and tested offer? And what I mean by that is, have you sold this offer organically before, right? Like without ads, and you've had people come through whatever your funnel is, whatever your sales process is, and they've made a sale. That's number one. 2, do you deliver positive results on that offer? Because I'm sorry, you cannot, like, just getting sales is one thing. We need people to have transformations. We needed people to say, yes, this was great. Okay.
Yes.
Sometimes people like to be like, oh yeah, they buy my thing, but it's terrible. No, we don't want that. We want both. Okay. That's the first thing. The second little element that I'd like to say, which was the targeting, is I give this exercise to all my clients, right? I like to say to them, hey, close your eyes. I'm also going to close my eyes. And we're going to envision your ideal client. I don't want you to tell me what they physically look like. I want you to tell me, if we were in a shopping center, what shop would I find them in? Are they at Gucci or are they at Lululemon? Are they holding Starbucks in their hand or are they holding a book? If they're holding a book, who's the author? So you're building a picture of the person who we are looking for. That's sort of how you target in the initial stages, right? That's a great way to start off. That's just really because we're targeting for one person does not mean this is the final version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a build upon.
This is version 1. You can go on and say, okay, version 2, now that we know this person will buy my stuff, version 2, we're looking for moms. Version 3, we're looking for dads. Version 4, we're looking for grandma. I don't know. Kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But what you want to do is you want to adapt as you learn, and you want to create your ads according to that person in mind. I know as entrepreneurs, sometimes we like to say, oh, but anybody can use my product. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
But we all know the saying, if you sell to everyone, you sell to no one. So we don't want that. We want to make sure that the person we're targeting is very connected to the messaging, which is the next step. you want to make sure that your messaging is really on point and your creatives. Now, with the creatives, it can either be an ad, it can be a video, or it can be a still. With a creative, I don't want you to overthink it. Shani, just using you as the example, because you said you haven't had much success in it.
Yes.
Which
means obviously I need to book you for something. But go ahead.
Girl, we can talk. But if you go, like, first step, I often say to most of my clients, your best ads are probably already sitting in your organic growth, in your organic marketing. And what I mean by that is, like, what are the posts that have gotten the most likes, the most engagements, the most saves, the most reach? Okay. It means your audience plus the algorithm, because of the reach part, think this is a very good post. And if you slightly adapted that post to maybe include a call to action to say, comment the word blank and I'll send you 1, 2, 3, 4, or visit my bio to get 1, 2, 3, 4, that's an ad.
That is an ad, actually.
Right? And we probably already have that. We probably have already created that. We just need to change the last little bit. Yeah. So it's very important to see what resonates with our audience and see the style that kind of like makes them like go, oh yeah, I'm going to like comment, or yeah, I'm going to save this. Yeah. You don't have to really reinvent the wheel. Your information is probably already there.
You know what? Which ad format performs the best? Because a lot of people tell you to move over to video. Like, video is just where it's at. Video is just trending everywhere. On every platform, video takes precedent. Do you think a video format kind of works better than just a static image post, I guess?
I think it depends on what your objective is. For example, I have a client whose main target audience is tech, or people in tech. And people in tech don't have time to read a whole video, right? Yeah. So what we have found that works really well there is a carousel ad. So you have static images that you can swipe, and at the end, it gives them the solution. Or in between, it gives them the solution. So they're just like, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, great, cool. Click, action. Whereas sometimes with other products, you might need to have demonstration, right? You need to show people how the product works if it's a physical product. And maybe if it's like coaching or life coaching, you might need to like show why you're the expert in that field and they should trust you. So you want to give them like a nugget of value, but also give them an actionable step that they can take. That is portrayed better in video, in my opinion, than in a still. But I think if you're like working in something like tech, images are really still very great.
Yeah, that's good to know. I like that. I'm going to use that one. Thank you, Jack. How do you, if you're running a campaign, and this is what I've known to do because I worked in digital marketing for a while. When you run a campaign, we run it for like a week or so. If we don't see it performing well, we go back and we now kind of make changes to it. I work in tech as well. I worked in tech as too. So we'll iterate things, you know how it is, MVP style.
Yes.
And so is there at a certain point where you have to say, when you look at your ad and it's not performing, like, one, what's that amount of time you feel you should let an ad run? And if it's not giving you the performance that you're looking for, what ways can they optimize to really help them see conversions?
So I like to start at the beginning. So the first thing I always look for is, what is the objective, right? Yeah. So if the objective was conversions, but conversions in terms of a lead, which just means they gave us their email, right? And we gave them something in exchange, right? Like, that's what I mean by a lead.
Yeah.
We look at the beginning. Like, if the ad is not performing, and I start by looking, how many people have clicked on the ad? Because maybe like they've clicked on the ad, but they've just not given us their email. They're not doing the thing. The problem might not be the ad. If we have plenty of clicks, it might be the landing page where you're taking them to the next location, right? Yeah. Maybe there's something on this page which is like, I don't want to do that. Like, I was fine. Like, what you said was great, but like, now you've taken me here and I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. Right? Yeah. The other thing I would say, if the ad itself has no clicks and it has like no one engaging on it, then it's definitely either a copy or a creative issue. Then you want to test to see, well, what kind of copy you would do with that. I often like to always start with 2 of everything. 2, like, most, I'm going to tell you, I'm very conservative. Other ad people will tell you, Carol, that's too little. You want to start with like 5, you want to start with 10. But here's the thing, okay? The way Facebook works is like if you have a budget of like baby numbers, you have like $20 and you're asking it to look for all these people. You're asking it to test these 2 different copies. You're asking it to test these 2 different images. You're asking it to find this action. That's a lot of things to do with that $20. So what it's going to do, it's going to find the most effective way. It's going to find the cheapest way to get this done. And it's not going to give you the best results, especially if you have like 5, because then it's like, basically it's like 5 different ads and you have $20. Each ad conservatively is going to get $4. That's not enough.
Yeah.
So you want to start smaller and try 1 or 2 and see, okay, especially if you have a smaller budget and see, okay, there's 10 for this one and 10 for this one relatively. It's not like cut in stone, but relatively. So you can be like, okay, this ad is doing better. This copy is doing better. This audience is doing better. And you test like that.
I like that. I think, you know what, one of the things I think I got confused with when it came to the ads was the pixel piece of it. And it's like, I don't know if it's the Facebook pixel. It's some kind of pixel that you got to be able to track. Like you're able to track that conversion, I guess, from Facebook to your site or whatever that is. And I guess I'm saying this to say that maybe as entrepreneurs, we need to have people like you, agencies like yours, because we really don't understand like the intricate pieces of it when it comes to building out an ad that you really want to see perform well. Because you're right. Because if you have a small budget, let's say you only got $100 to spend and you want to run, I don't know, like maybe 5-6 ads, and you're like, well, how am I going to get the best out of this $100 that I have to spend to really kind of help me grow? You know, what suggestions would you give for the person who come and say, hey, Carol, I only got $100 to spend. How can we make this grow?
I'm not going to turn you away. I'm going to be like, here's the thing I'm always going to say to people, like, look, I'm going to grab my phone quickly. If you have a $10 budget, your ad is going to be this small, right?
Yes.
If you have $100 or $1,000 budget, your ad going to be this big. It's going to be as big as a poster. It's going to be as big as a billboard, right?
Yes.
Now, both of them, if we imagine that someone is holding up a sign as big as a billboard or as big as a phone in a busy airport, and it has your name, Carol Kabale, or it has your name, Shawnee, you will find the person. Like, you will eventually, like, you might have to squint, but you're going to find that person, right?
Yeah.
So if you have a smaller budget, people will come to you, but it will be a lot smaller. If you have a bigger budget, your billboard is going to be bigger. Hence, you will get more conversions. Going back to your question of the pixel, I know people like to make this like overly crazy. The pixel is just a tiny little piece of code that you put on your website, and it basically helps Facebook to track what you want to do. Because here's the thing, it's just a machine, right? And you need to tell it like, hey, I need you to track 1, 2, 3, 4. So by installing this pixel onto your website, all that you're doing is saying, hey, please track when someone fills in this form. If you do not have that pixel, it cannot pick up when someone has filled in that form. It cannot pick up when someone has visited a certain page. Another thing that was introduced just after the pandemic was iOS 14 banned, which now we have to do this conversion API thing. And basically, you know, iOS is always keeping us on our toes. In fact, Facebook is always keeping us on our toes. And with that being said, they were like, no, we don't want people to track our advertising data. So what Conversion API does is that it tracks not the device, but the server. So you can be like, okay, one server took this action, not necessarily this particular device of Shawnee or Carol took this action.
That's cool. You know, you see how you explained it so simple that now people, when they listen to this episode, they're going to get it. It's just a little piece of thing that's going to track, you know, help Facebook track when somebody fills out this form or when somebody clicks here, they know what's going on, where they're going, where they lead into. You'll get that data. Because it's all about data. That's how we determine if we are going to continue something or not. We have to look at the data. How do you balance, I guess, attracting leads with nurturing them through the sales funnel? And do you have like any specific techniques for, I guess, a buyer's journey to help capture that lead and make sure you make that conversion?
So I'm a huge fan of creating an automated marketing system. And what I mean by that is like these platforms, I don't care what you're on. If you're on TikTok, if you're on Google, if you're on Facebook, these platforms are rented land, in my opinion. Like at any point, your account can be hacked. At any point, You can lose access to your account at any point. Mr. Mark Zuckerberg or whoever these CEOs are can be like, no, thank you. We don't want you here anymore, right?
That's true.
This is rented space. So if you're building your business on followers and you don't have something tangible, if this died tomorrow, I mean, we've constantly seen when there's a blackout, what do? People like start losing their mind. Oh my gosh, I can't enter Instagram. Oh my gosh, what?
Yeah.
Right? We all go into spiral mode. I'm going to tell you something. Myself and my clients, we don't go into spiral mode. And the reason we don't is because we prioritize for emails. And I know some people may say to me, oh, Carol, emails are so old school. That's not going to work. I'm going to tell you right now, you check your email every day. I don't care who you are. If you have a business or not, you check your email every single day.
Yep.
So it's not going away anytime soon. So I like to create campaigns where we capture data like an email, and then we focus on email marketing strategies to nurture. And we nurture to warm people up to say, hey, this is of value to you. And they're like constantly nodding and saying yes, and yes, and yes, until they are ready to buy. Not when we are ready to sell, when they are ready to buy.
Exactly.
As entrepreneurs, we want people to buy now, but people will buy when they need that solution. So you need to make sure that you are top of mind for that solution when they finally have that problem or that epiphany.
Yeah.
So with email marketing, we like to present ourselves in that way. We also like to position ourselves to be like, hey, these 100 people are constantly interacting. They're constantly doing something with your emails. Let's put another ad in front of them and ask them to book a call with you. Let's give them like a preference and say, hey, we want to reward your loyalty by saying, here's a coupon or here's an extra thing. And by that, one, they know they're opening everything. They know. And two, you're saying like, let's go to the next step. I see you watching. What's stopping you? Let me help you.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes business is very service-based. You need to like understand that you're not only here for profit, you're here to serve. So how can I help you?
Yeah, that is so true that you're here to serve. And email is so important. I talk about email all the time on the podcast because I feel like people don't get it. And you're so right. It's so many times that I've seen creators who have huge followings, right? But no email list. And I'm like, well, what's going to happen when they take TikTok from you and you don't have this community that you felt like you built here when it's just all gone and you got to start all over again? You know, so I'm so glad you said that about email because it's so important. Let me ask you this, Carol. What are some of the most common mistakes you see people make when it comes to their Facebook ad, and how can they avoid them?
I think the biggest one is going into this without a plan. As entrepreneurs, a lot of people come into this with like, I just want sales. I just want results. And like you go with it without really evaluating your whole customer journey. So when you actually go into ads from a strategy point of view, if you can imagine you're on a slide, like remember when we were children, we went down the slide. Imagine that there were like huge gaps in the slide, right? Yeah. That's what ads, it's not fun, actually. It's pretty dangerous. It's a pretty dangerous situation, actually.
Falling right through those things.
We don't want that. We don't want that. Think about this. Like, this is your first impression of whoever has trusted you with that piece of information. Whether that piece of information is a like, is a comment, is an email, this is their first impression of you. So what you really want to do is give them your best impression. And if you have holes in your journey, the ad is just going to amplify that because it's just putting more people coming through that. And then like they give you your email, but you don't give them anything. Red flag. They give you your email, but you send them 50 emails afterwards. Like, that's spammy. Stop. What are you doing? That's weird. And you don't want to do that. So you want to like kind of find the sweet spot of what people need, not what people want, what people need, and then give them that. And then that's the biggest issue that I find because people are like, oh, I just want sales. Sales will come. Trust me, sales will come. If you're doing this properly, sales will come.
Yeah.
But you need to make sure that the journey that they're taken on is a great one, is one that when the sale is presented to them, they're like, take out their credit card. They're like, here you go. You know what I mean? It's like a no-brainer. They're like, What? Okay, yeah, I was actually waiting. Like, I could have bought this like 2 emails ago. Like, why didn't you ask me then? That's what you
Exactly.
want.
That is so good. You know, what metrics, because it's about data and analytics, and I know a lot of business owners don't really pay attention to data when it comes to running a Facebook ad, but what would be the metric that they should pay the most attention to when they're running their Facebook ad?
I would say cost per result, especially if they're very budget conscious.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it goes down to what is your actual sales conversion rate? I always tell my clients, I can bring sales opportunities to you. It is your responsibility to close them.
Yeah.
Because I can't be on the sales
yeah.
call for you, right?
Yeah,
I
that's
can't do
true.
the webinar for you. I can't be the sales page for you. I can only bring people to you, right? So if you know those numbers, like what your conversions are, let's say 10 people come here, and
Mhm.
then you are able, you know, if 10 people show up in front of you, 2 of them will turn into clients. That
Yeah.
means you need like 20 people to come
Yeah.
so that you can make it happen, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
So knowing that will also know your cost per result. So if you know you're getting leads at like $10, can I spend $10 repeatedly every single day to make that work? Do I need
Yeah.
to be spending 50, 100, 1,000? So you can reverse engineer based on your conversion rate what you actually need to be spending. And once you actually know those numbers, running ads really becomes like an integral part of your business because it's
Mhm.
predictable. You
Yeah.
get to the point where you're like, if I put $100 in, I know for a fact I can get 300 out.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, that was some good advice right there. Like, seriously. You know, these platforms are consistently changing, right? All the time. So, with the constant changes to Facebook algorithm and the ad platform, how do you stay like ahead to ensure that your client campaigns can remain effective and, and see results?
So for me, that's a really good one. These people like to change it up on me all the time. For
All the
example,
time.
all
All
the
the
flipping
time.
time. I don't know why they do this. For example, like I logged in the other day and they're like, "Oh, we're changing this interface. Where it's no longer going to be here. It's going to be here." I was like, "Why? It was fine here. Like, why are you doing this?" It was
Exactly.
okay.
Exactly.
That being said, I think regardless of the changes that Facebook makes, you need to be very clear on your strategy, on your objective. If you're very clear, regardless of let's use this analogy, how the cake is made, you want the
Mhm.
cake.
Yeah.
So
You just want it.
regardless of it's gluten free or it's going to have the gluten in it, you need to know, like, we're getting cake
Yes,
at the end of
that's
it.
just it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Are there any like new trends or anything that are coming up that maybe, online businesses should be aware of, entrepreneurs should be aware of when it comes to Facebook advertising?
I think one of the biggest one is for me personally and my clients, we love this comment the word blank and you'll get
Mhm.
this. It's a nice little partnership with, I mean, their main partners is like ManyChat.
Yeah,
And
ManyChat, mhm.
they're actually a Meta partner, which means if you use them specifically as a platform, your ads shouldn't, in theory, perform less of. And what I mean by that is like, think about it this way. Facebook wants you to stay on their platform. So their first goal, even when they're advertising, right, is to like maybe you use their Facebook in form and you use their form, you submit their form, and then you go back to the platform and continue scrolling, or Instagram or WhatsApp or whatever you want to use. And then the next thing would be you go to somebody else's website. They like that, but they don't really like that because that means you're now on somebody else's website. Your attention is gone, right?
Yeah.
But if they can have an ad where you're like having a conversation and maybe you DM a word or you click on something, and after you do that, you go back to their platform, of course they're going to favor that. And I always say to people, like, Facebook wants you to be successful with your ads. There is, like, I believe wholeheartedly they want your ads to succeed.
Yeah.
Because the reason they need to is because you're going to invest more money.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't they want your ads to do great? If your ads haven't done great, I'm so sorry to say, you need to look at other elements. Like, you need to see what else was happening here. Because it's not just the platform that boosted your ad.
Yeah. That's true. But you said something that is so true about Facebook. And I noticed that too. Like, they don't like you posting YouTube videos because they don't want people to leave the platform. So that is kind of a question I guess people would have. Like, if I run ads, of course it's going to take them from the platform to my website or either to my sales funnel. Will I get penalized for that? Will they not? Like, but it's good to say you're saying that no, they won't suppress your ad. They still will push it out, but that's a question that I know a lot of us, are not a question, but that's something that Facebook do that a lot of us are just confused about. Like, I can't even promote anything because you don't really allow us to say certain things because you'll suppress our videos. That's just
like
weird.
If you're running an ad, it's a little bit different than if you're being organic because it's in their best interest for that ad to do well. They want those metrics to go up, right?
Yeah.
But if you do it organically and you run the same thing and you're like, click the link in my bio, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not gonna leave that 300 views mark. It's not.
Yeah.
I can put good money on it. It's not gonna leave.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah. So it's better. It might be better to do the automation then. To say, hey,
Correct.
Comment below and then do it that way. I can see that working better. You're right. Yeah. We're gonna bring the episode to a close, but what piece of advice that you can give any online business who want to scare their business using Facebook ads?
I would say come up with a plan, right? But before you even come up with a plan, I want to challenge you guys to do something. I want you to think, it's time to invest in myself, right?
Yeah.
Often we are like, I don't want to do that. It feels like I'm just throwing spaghetti on the wall and hoping it sticks. But truly, investing in any type of advertising is investing in yourself. You are currently playing a game with this algorithm that you are set to lose. Playing a game with this algorithm is like gambling at the casino and playing at the nickel machine. You're just putting money in, and you're like, ooh, I won $10. Ooh, I want, like, you get these little endorphin, but it's not what you want, right?
Yeah.
What you really want to do is create a strategy for yourself. Choose your best performing product or service and say, okay, what do I want to get more out of? I want to get more sales, or I want to get more emails, or I want to get more conversations started. Create the strategy and then go into the back end and build your ad. How do you build your ad? I want you to look at whatever is your best performing organic post. I want you to look at what performed really well. Choose that either as the actual ad or recreate it in that style to fit the offer. And then start small. Maybe start like for 7 days on $20 so that you can have a baseline of what it costs to get that action. And once you know what it costs to get that action, so if it costs $1 to get an email, after the 7 days, hey, I need to be putting in $10 every day or $100 every day or $500 every day to get this action. And then after that, I promise you, you won't say your ads did not work.
I love that. Listen, this has been good. Like, we need to do another episode because we could continue talking about Facebook ads and ads overall, just like in a whole new conversation, because I know so many people want to know about it. So I thank you so much for coming on, Carol, and being able to share your wisdom and give us all these strategies and tips in order for us to have successful ad campaigns on Facebook. But if we can't do it, we just hire you to do it.
I mean, that would be nice. Thank you.
I know, right? That's the goal.
That
to
would
be able to hire
really
you,
nice.
and we don't have to worry about that anymore. And somebody else runs it and help us with it. And I think that works best. So again, thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed this conversation.
Yeah. All right, guys. I am Shani Sanders. This is the Girl Techno Podcast, and I will talk to you next time.